Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, February 4th. Can you believe it? We're in February already. Welcome to Stampin' with Jen. Teach It Tuesday with Tammy and Jenny. Let's see. Pull myself up here on my Facebook page so I can see comments. And, looks like I'm shaking a little bit. All right, there we go. I hope you are having a great day. If you're in the Bay Area, it's a wet and windy day. Not sure what the weather is like other places. I know Texas has been having some really nice weather. Matter of fact, it was it was in the 70s yesterday. I think it was probably in the 70s again today. But we are our winter has finally arrived. So welcome. It is about 3:59. We'll be starting in about a minute. If you are joining watching the replay, then you can skip forward a minute or two, and I will share with you what we're going to be doing. I'm looking forward to this. Tammy and I and Patty will be sharing this on our blogs tomorrow. We are sharing with you, scrapbooking kits and cards. So it's great. The scrapbooking kits are great, but if you'd like to use the extra leftover, if you find that you have pieces and parts left over, you can make cards out of these. That's an excellent way. So let's go ahead and get started. It's 4 o'clock. Welcome to Teach It Tuesday with Tammy and Jenny. My name is Jenny Fetz, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the San Francisco Bay Area, closer to the East Contra Costa area. Not closer, I am in East Contra Costa County. So if you're familiar with the Delta, hello Tammy, how are you? I hope you are feeling better. I forgot to tell you, this is the Everyday You and Me scrapbooking workshop kit that we used last week when we did our scrapbook trio with Patty at 9 o'clock in the morning, Tammy at 10 o'clock in the morning. Tammy, you at 10 o'clock, yes. No, 11 o'clock in the morning, and then me at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And Tammy and I thought it would be awesome because it was a suggestion from Patty that we share with you how to turn these into cards, the scraps and leftovers. And so that's what I'm going to be doing today with you. I'm sharing cards that I've made from the Everyday You and Me scrapbooking kit leftover. Here's our first card that we're going to be doing. And we are using this card, actually used some of the DSP and some of the two-tone paper, and then it used one of the stickers. And then this actual part here was one of the dies that you punch out. And since there's only one of them, I will show you how I can recreate this image or something very similar to use for this card. So we'll go ahead and get started. And I'm excited to share with you a couple other ones I did too. I forgot to burnish this yesterday when I made this. So anyway, the card starts with a 8.5 by 11 piece of, not 11, oh my goodness, 8.5 by 5.5 piece of gray granite, and it is scored at 4 1/4. So we'll go ahead and fold that over and burnish it. And then we have a piece of the two-tone Pretty Peacock, and we're going to put it on the darker side. And this is 5 1/4 by 4. And then we also took a piece of what I loved. I love these roses. Yes, last week I was talking about trying to figure out how to use them, and this is the perfect thing. I cut a piece down, and it is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, and we'll layer this, and then this is left over, and the two-tone paper is from the kit. And then what I am going to do is show you what I did is I used this sticker here, and I'll show you how I cut it down. I measured it, and it's exactly 5 1/8. So let's go ahead and cut this down to 5 1/8. And what I did is I moved my cutting blade all the way to the top, and we'll go ahead and measure it from this side. I know this oh, I don't want to measure it from them. We'll do it this way. Fold this over. What I did is I went from the edge and went over 5 1/8 and then cut it. And I only cut it part of the way. So let's go ahead and we'll fold this down so you guys can see it. The rose pattern, I love the rose pattern too, Tammy. It's so pretty. So 5 1/8, and we're gonna go right there, 5 1/8, and then I only cut to the base of the sticker, right about there, so it doesn't cut through anything else. And then I just peeled that off, and now it's the exact size that I need. So let's go ahead and apply this to our paper here. And I think, yeah, I had the wild wheat pattern on the top, and I just put it halfway through. All right, there we go. And we're gonna go ahead and attach this to our mat of the Pretty Peacock two-tone. And we'll go here. Oh. All right, let's see if we can get this. Hopefully it doesn't. All right, let's see. This is pretty full. So I leave it in here and I don't put my lid back on it. So occasionally I have to take a pin and clear it out because it might dry out on the inside. You can see a little piece came out. So I'll clean that pin up with a alcohol swab later. And there we go. There's my ink, my adhesive, my glue. So we'll put that down here, and we're gonna center this here, and I'm centering the rose on the Pretty Peacock. And the fun thing is I will be using the stamp set that coordinates with all of this for to create the image here, as well as on one of my other cards, because they've got roses that match this. All right, so did that upside down, but that's okay. All right, so let's go ahead and attach this to our card base. I tell you, it's gray and gloomy outside, and words aren't coming easy. All right, there we go. We'll center that right there. Let's see, make sure it's all even. All right. Hopefully, I just realized I had it closer to me. I hope it was in the window so you guys could see it. All right, what I've done is I'm also using my Stylish Shapes dies, and I'm using the, I think it's the 2 1/4 inch circle and the 2 1/8 inch circle to cut this. Looks good both ways. Oh, good. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to use this stamp set, the Everyday You and Me. It coordinates with the scrapbooking. It's great. It's got sentiments that you can use for scrapbooking or for cards. And I'm going to be using this stamp right here in Pretty Peacock. And that's going to mimic this image here. It won't be exact, but it will mimic it. So we're going to do that. I hope you're feeling better, Tammy, or at least starting to feel better and on the mend. All right, so we'll go ahead and stamp that there. And set that aside so I don't get my finger in it. And then I'm using the sentiment from Grateful for You because it's smaller. None of these sentiments on this stamp set will fit on this smaller card. So I'm going to use the Grateful for You sentiment from Layers of Beauty. So let me find that sentiment, and we're going to do it in Pretty Peacock as well. All right. Oh, excuse me. All right. We'll go ahead and stamp it right. Let's see. You know what? There's two sides, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the sentiment first. Lesson learned. Stamp the sentiment first, and then we'll stamp the flower. I'm sorry. This cold weather is probably not helping at all. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and stamp the sentiment on here. It looks like we're gonna, let me pull a piece of scratch paper over because it's probably gonna go off the edge a little bit, but that's okay. All right, there we go. Oh, that looks nice. I really like how that looks. And then we're gonna go ahead and attach this to here. All right. And we'll put it centered on the larger circle from Pretty Peacock, and I cut it in the same Pretty Peacock leftover two-tone paper. And we'll go ahead and attach this here. It's really simple to put these cards together, and using all this leftover paper. Really, the only thing you would need is some cardstock, and you could actually go, if you didn't have the gray granite, you could even go with your basic white, if that's all you have, as a card base for this. Voice is slowly coming back, but this cough is icky. Yeah, coughs usually last longer too, Tammy, out of everything from what I gather and what I've heard over and over again. All right, and now I'm going to go ahead and bring in some more wild wheat with the 2325 in color opaque sparkles. And I'll tell you, I haven't used I bought these, gosh, I think back in like May or June. And I hadn't used them much, and now all of a sudden I'm finding all sorts of places, and I'm enjoying using them. So grab them while you can, because these colors will all be retiring. Let's see. Let's put it right there. Oh, I don't like that. Luckily, oh. All right. Well, I'm going to show you something you can do. I'm going to put a little glue, because I take that off and it left the adhesive there. So I'm going to put a little dot of adhesive, but the putty knife from the Take Your Pick tool is holding it, which is nice. Put a little dot there, and we're going to go ahead and put this, I think I'm going to put it right there instead. And we just go ahead, and so if you find that your embellishment isn't working and you have the Take Your Pick tool, using the putty edge, you can hold it and you can apply a little dab of glue on the bottom. So we've got that. All right, and now we're going to do the inside of the card, and I think we're going to just go ahead and you know what, here's what I think we're going to do. I am going to grab another block, and I'm going to use one of these roses, but I'm going to stamp off so that we have the color on the inside. All right, let's go ahead and go with the smaller one. And we'll do this, but we're going to stamp off so that it's not as dark. I like the idea of it varying coloring. So let's go ahead and stamp off once, and then we'll put it right here. And we'll do another one. No, I don't think, yeah, let's do, they say do groups of three. So we're going to do one right there, and we're going to stamp off and do that right there. You know what? I'm not big on that. So let's go ahead and do this. We're not going to do the rose. Two sides of paper, it works. I think I'm going to do the leaves. Let's go back to the leaves. Hey, Tracy, welcome. Yes, I love this paper too, Tracy. This is a really gorgeous paper. So we're going to go ahead and frame our inside with the leaf. And we're going to stamp off to make it a little bit lighter. I'm going to frame it up in the top and the bottom. There we go. Let's go ahead and put this aside. We're going to be using it in a little bit. And now we'll go ahead and attach this in the inside. I love that paper has two sides. So in case you make a mistake, or not a mistake, but you find you don't like it. Good afternoon, Nell. Welcome. I hope you're surviving all the rain, Nell, that we've got going on and not floating away up there, because I know it's been coming down pretty hard down here. So there is our first card using some of the leftovers or the extras from our scrapbooking card kit scrapbooking kit. So let's go ahead and make card number 2. Now this card number 2 was a lot of fun to make. It's a little bit more time consuming, but I enjoyed it. And it's like, if you guys remember the fracture card, it's where they have the one line that goes here of the different colors, papers, and then everything else is different. But this is more of a pattern piece. So yeah, it's been pouring all day here too now. It's been crazy. It also meant the kids were actually wild, very wild in school today. But we're gonna go ahead and make this part first. Actually, here's what we're gonna do first. We're going to stamp, and this is our smaller square out of, again, Stylish Shapes. It is 1 7/8 square, and I'm going to stamp a medium size rosette from Pretty Peacock from the Everyday You and Me Stamping. Your patio is flooded. You know, I was looking out and our patio is not flooded, but the back dirt area that we use for our dog is getting flooded. And so luckily we don't let him use that during the rain seasons, because then we have to clean his muddy feet. So I'm going to go ahead and put this, I'm going to turn my can you guys see this? Is it in the center? Okay, I'm going to turn my square to a diamond or an angle, and I'm going to stamp it on the left side. And then we're going to take our small leaf. Let me show you which one we're using. I just used this rosette, and I'm going to use this leaf here. And I'm going to color it with a Stampin' Right marker, the Wild Wheat Stampin' Right marker. And I'm actually going to dab it a little bit. It gives it a little texture. And we're going to put that on there. So that's, let's see, there we go. So I'm going to do a couple leaves, one right there. And we'll go ahead and color it and then dab it so it has a little texture to it. All right. You know how the kids work, 34 years elementary office manager. Yes, so you know exactly what happens with the kids in the rainy day seasons. It's crazy. All right, there we go. So there's our leaf, our rose, and we're gonna leave that, we're gonna set that off to the side for just a little bit. I didn't start this off right. I jumped right into making the card, but let me tell you what we've got to make this card. So the pieces and parts. So we're using an 11 by 4 1/4 piece of Pretty Peacock scored at 5 1/2. We'll go ahead and burnish this. And then we're going to set it off to the side. We've got 2 pieces of basic white, 4 by 5 1/4. One is going to be for the inside and one's going to be for the outside. So let's go ahead and we'll do the inside later. And then the outside, let me show you what we're going to use to create this pattern, or just quilted pattern look. What I've done is I've taken all of the different pattern papers, and I've cut out of the 12 by 12, and I left it in 12 by 12, but what I cut is a 1/2 inch strip wide, and then I cut 2 or 3 of each one, and then I cut them in half so they're 6 inches. So I have, I think, anywhere from 14 to 16 strips of 1/2 inch by 6 inch of the Designer Series paper, and most of this paper is 2-sided. There are a couple patterns. Well, there's one pattern that I'm using that is not double-sided. It's white on the back, and that's because it was meant to be one of the main layout pages in if you were scrapbooking, but I didn't use that one, so I'm using it here. And so we just have all sorts of double-sided papers, all these different patterns, and we're going to set these off to the side here. Now, in order, before we attach this to, or these scraps of paper to the card base, or not the card base, but this piece of white cardstock, I'm going to attach this guy here first, and we're going to center him. And what I did last night, I found, is instead of just using a big piece of foam adhesive, what I did is I got my foam adhesive and I cut it a little bit skinny. And then what I did is I put it along the edge here. And so let's go ahead and cut these. So right about there. And it doesn't have to be the exact length of it, but I like it because what it's going to do is it's going to give me something to butt these pieces up against so they don't slide underneath the rectangle or the square. Hi, Patty, welcome. So let's go ahead and put these on here. And if you guys know, we are Team Foam Adhesive, hashtag Team Foam Adhesive. We love our foam adhesive sheets. And there we go. Let's put those off to the side. And we're going to put this at an angle. Now I'm going to stand up and look over so I can make sure I can get this centered. I want it centered from left to right. Oops, see, that's what happens. But I want it to come down about, I think it's about 1/2 inch. Let's see. Yeah, it's about 1/2 inch from the top. So let's go ahead and we'll take these off. And I'm still standing because I want to make sure I'm still standing. Sorry. I want to make sure I get this centered, because once it's on with the foam adhesive, unless if you push it down, it would stay. You might be able to move it a little bit, but I want to make sure I get it just the first shot. So there we go. Yes, Team Foam Adhesive Sheets. All right, so let's go ahead and start attaching our strips. I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to go here first. And what I do is I line my first strip up with the this side so that it goes along here and it stops there. And then I'll create a long strip this way. It's hard to, I don't know how else to describe it. So we're going to go ahead, and it looks like I don't need as much. I don't need a lot of adhesive on here. And if you have a silicone mat, I suggest you put a silicone mat underneath so that the adhesive can be cleaned up and it doesn't stick as much. But I'm going to put that right there. And I don't go all the way down because, oops, let me see. There we go. Because I don't want too much adhesive getting, or glue getting on the, oh my goodness, my mat here. All right, let's go ahead and go just a little bit more. And we're gonna line this up. And we're gonna just keep going until we cover all that up. And I'm just going to change up the patterns a little bit. You know what, let's go with this wild wheat one here. And we don't need as much. And actually, when I get to a point where there's a smaller space like this, I just sort of fill it up with adhesive or glue. And that way I can just put it down and I don't have to worry about it. And let's go with this gray one right here. But I want that pattern there, so I'm going to go up a little bit. All right, so now we're going to turn this. No, I'm not going to turn it. I'm going to turn it this way, actually. So, and we're going to go ahead and put another piece that goes straight along this way. And I think I want to go with, what would be a good one? You know what? This one would be a good one. I like that one. So let's go with that. It's got a sort of a grayish look here, and it sort of ombres into the wild wheat. And I'm just going to put a little bit. The adhesive, you can do it however you really want. And this one, because I'm not sure where it's gonna end, I'm gonna put it right like there. All right, so we got, don't want that to, there we go. Line that up, and let's find another pattern. You know, we haven't used this pattern yet, so now I've got a small space, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some adhesive in there. Now, if you have adhesive sheets, you could use that, but I like to just use the glue because I'm afraid that if I put the adhesive sheet on the whole thing, then I'm going to get everything is going to stick to it, and then I'm going to be in trouble. So let's put that there. Let's see, what other pattern have we done? Pattern will be not done yet. Oh, we haven't done this one yet. Let's go ahead and do this pattern here. All right. It's very mesmerizing. Hi, Carol, welcome. I just, you know, I love this pattern. It's just a fun way to do patterns. And we haven't done this gingham pattern yet. So we're going to do, I'm going to turn it so we have a little more color. And I'm going to put that there. And here's a tip. Because it's not a lot of paper right there, I'm going to use more towards the top of this strip, because I'll show you how I make sure I don't have way too many strips of paper. So we're going to do that. And see, this is, you can see it sort of, the glue overhangs a little bit, or squishes over a little bit, I guess is the technical term. And we're going to turn this way. And now we're going to put some more on here. Let's see. I think we should go with this leaf pattern again. So I'm going to we're going to use most of this strip. So I'm going to just go ahead and apply it straight to the strip. All right. Hi, Sherry. Welcome. Albuquerque, New Mexico. Welcome. How's the weather out there? My husband was just out that way not long ago, driving back from Texas after he moved my daughter to Texas. So here we're going to put that strip there. Let's go with another one. Oops. Another one of these. The Lost Lagoon color. You can't wait to make this. Oh, I can't wait to see what yours looks like, Patty. You'll have to share it with me and share it on, yeah, we'll figure out how you can share it. You might be able to post it on the post that goes with this one when I post this tomorrow in Facebook with the blog information. So we're going to put that there. We're going to go with another wild wheat. Let's do some more wild wheat. And we're getting down to the point where we can actually put in a little bit. We can start. Oop, there we go. We'll go ahead now. We're going to put the adhesive on here. And let's do a gray. We haven't done a gray one yet in a while. The gray granite. We'll put that there. And I'm butting it. I make sure I butt them all up against, tightly up against the pieces of paper next to it, so that it can, so you don't see any pieces. Let's go ahead and do this one. And you know what? I'm going to move that down because it's overlapping this one up here. Let's pull it down just a little bit. There we go. Overlap that. And let's see. I already did gray. What do I have left? I have this one. Oh, we haven't done the rose pattern. So let's do the rose pattern again. But you know what? I'm going to turn it this way because I like that. I'm going to overlap it after all because I like having that wild wheat rose right down there. All right, so now I have a few pieces left here, but they're almost the same patterns. So what I'm going to do, and this is what I did on the other one too, is I do 3 sides. And then what I do is I flip it over and I cut along the edge, and I'm going to use some of these strips, these leftovers, the pieces that fall off, because if you cut right along the edge, there you go. And I'm using some scissors that work with, they've got, oh, titanium, or is it Teflon, or they're nonstick, titanium nonstick. This is titanium, and it's, and I cut at an angle so I can get right along the edge there, because I don't want to cut the card piece that the base that I've glued all these onto. So I cut at an angle to make sure I'm not cutting any of that off. Yeah, you'll get some pieces and strips that you can't use because they're too small, but you're going to have all these leftover pieces that you can use for the 4th side. All right, so there's 3 out of the 4 sides done. And there's quite a few larger pieces. We'll pull all these larger pieces and set them aside so we can use them again. Some of the tiny ones we won't be able to use. I'll see if I can pull them off to the side here. I have to admit, they're a little sticky, so they might stick to your fingers as you're trying to move them, or they might stick to your work surface. If you have a glass work surface, I know Stampin' Up! Has a glass work mat. The only reason I don't have that is I had already invested in one. And so, oh my goodness, how did this work out? How did I do this wrong? I did this wrong, ladies and gentlemen. See here, here. Oh, this side. I don't know what I did, but usually when you do this, you've got all one side so that it's hanging off, and I'm going to have to figure out, because that means this is going to, I'm going to have to figure this out, folks. We may just need to measure these pieces and cut them. That's what I'm going to have to do, folks. 86 today and not a cloud in the sky. Oh my gosh, it is like quilting. Sherry says it's warmer, 69 degrees. And Sherry's in Albuquerque. I remember when my husband went through is when that strange system went through, and they ended up with all sorts of snow, and they weren't even expecting it. He checked into the hotel and he said, I wasn't expecting this. And the guy said, I wasn't expecting it either. So here's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to, I don't know what we're going to do. You know what? Maybe we'll just come down this way, and we'll do it this way. We'll do it. So we're going to have all go this way, and then this will be up there. No biggie. It's still pretty. I'm not sure I'm not sure exactly how I messed it up, but I did. But it still looks pretty. You know what? There's never a mistake in crafting. All right, let's go ahead and glue these on. Let's put this one on. All right, there's that. Let's put, let's see. Let's put another gray on there. We're going to use some of the scraps. All right. And then let's go with, this one has enough. Does this have enough? There's enough there. All right, let's attach this right there. And we'll squeeze in. No, it almost looks like I might need to cut this a little bit. We already tried that one. A little bit narrow. Let me cut this off with I'm going to cut like an 1/8 of an inch off. Let's see, that's 1/4, that's 1/8 of an inch there. We're going to cut an 1/8 of an inch off and see if it fits in there, and it does. And we're going to go ahead and glue this on here. And then we'll cut there we go. All right, all of that is glued on. And as you can see, I went over on this, so I've got glue there. I'm going to have to cut. Oh, thank you, Sherry. Sorry, I had to look a little bit closer because my screen's a little bit farther away, and my reading glasses don't work that far away. All right, let's cut this off. All right, there is our final piece. And we're going to attach it. But first I'm going to get a little hint. These little alcohol pads, I love them. They clean off that glue, and now I have that there. We'll let that dry. Let's go ahead and attach this to our, let's see, that needs to be cut. There's a little piece left over. It's funny how you notice those really tiny pieces. There we go. All right. So before we attach that, let's go ahead and stamp. We're going to use the So Much Joy stamp from the Everyday You and Me stamp set. And I'm just going to stamp it right over, directly onto our designer series paper. And there is our sentiment. And we're going to go ahead and attach this or glue this. You won't care. You love getting Happy Mail. Well, you know what? I'll be making more of these, and this is definitely going on my RAK stash. So you might just get one, Tracy. All right. Let's go ahead and center that there. All right. And there is our card. We're going to go ahead and put the inside. What did I do with my inside? There it is. I'm going to stamp it. Or better yet, you know what we can do? We can put one of our pieces, our 1/2 inch strips right there on the edge, and that does it. So we're going to put a little adhesive right here along the edge, and we're going to attach this to the edge right there. I always run my finger along it so it butts that piece right up to the edge so it's not hanging over, except for on the long side. And we'll cut this off. And then we'll glue it into and put it inside our card. All right, let's see. And there is the inside of our card with coordinating designer series paper. Oh, I'm so glad you think it's lovely, Carol. Thank you. I appreciate that. So there is our second card made. Let me get these scraps out of the way. And they're sticking to my fingers because they've got glue on them and my fingers still have glue on them. But get rid of those. So let's go ahead and I'll show you. This was card number 2 today. And card number 1. I'd love to know which one you think is your favorite, and I can show you another one that I did just playing with it, using things outside of the kit. I used, this is all the kit, everything on here in this kit except for this. This is actually the papers from the kit. It's the 2-tone Pretty Peacock, but what I did is I ran it through the weave embossing folder, cane weave embossing folder, and then I sanded it down with my little sander to reveal some of the white. And then this is one of the dies from the kit. So I'd love to know in the comments, let me know which one's your favorite. Is it the first one with the roses, the quilt, or this one just is the one I just did, but I didn't explain it or didn't make it on camera. But I would love to know which one's your favorite. So let's see. It looks like it's, they are in screen. All right. I would love to know which one's your favorite. If you're watching a replay, you can go ahead and put it in the comments, which one's your favorite. In the meantime, just to let you know, you can watch a replay of this, or you can get all the details and all the information you need on these cards. Let me move this down, move this over, and move this down. At my blog tomorrow, it will be available at www.stampinwithjenn.com. Stampin with 2 N's, Jenn with 2 N's. And again, these are cards that we made with the leftovers from the scrapbook kit, Everyday You and Me. And when you go to my blog, you will see a link to Tammy's blog, Cards by TLC, and she will have her cards that she made with this. And also there's a link to Patty Bennett's blog, pattystamps.com, and her cards that she made with some of the other pieces and parts of our scrapbooking kit. So I hope you enjoy checking those out. And let's see, Carol says, hard decision. She's got to go with the quilt card. Yes, I have to admit, I love the quilt card too. I love doing the quilt card. It's just a lot of fun piecing it together. And Sherry loves them all. So thank you so much. And again, check out our blog tomorrow, and I will have all the pieces and parts that you need for this, measurements included, and links to Patty and Tammy's blogs where they will have additional cards that they made with this same scrapbooking kit. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that if you're in Northern California like I am, you're not floating away, and that everything goes well and you stay dry. And if you're not in Northern California and you're enjoying nice weather, I'm jealous. So have a great day, and join us again next week. Tammy and I will be doing, I don't know, what are we doing next week, Tammy? I have to look at my calendar. Do I have it on my calendar? Let's see, February. We are going to be, we're going to be doing Valentine's using Celebration, Celebration catalog product. I can't even think of the word. So join us next Tuesday for Teach It Tuesday with Tammy and Jenny. Have a great week. Thanks so much for joining us. Bye-bye.